You're listening to Ernestly Speaking, the only weekly podcast that covers friends, foes, and anything that goes. And now, for your badass host, Ernest Owens. And we're back for another episode of Ernestly Speaking with your host, Ernest Owens, myself. Well, I am here in Baltimore. I guess reporting to you all live at the Four Seasons in Baltimore with some special guests for this special edition of Ernestly Speaking. And I have with me my faves. Based on special requests by all of you all who've been asking for a special edition episode that I've been doing for a while now, but, I rarely have guests. But if I do, it's always a special time. So without further ado, I introduce to you all on the podcast for the first time ever, the Lit Brothers.
Hey, what's up?
Yes. Okay, so we're all here in Baltimore. It's been quite a trip. We're having a boys' trip in Baltimore. It's been fabulous. I didn't know Baltimore was going to be so fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've come and made a couple of stops. I was here a couple of weeks ago. My faves, Amanda and Joe, had proposed to each other. They was at the the Penn Tree. Mm-hmm. Fancy hotel. I didn't stay there, but they were there. And I was like, Baltimore would not be bad to really take over, given with everything in Philly that's happening. But there's so much going on. So, but without further ado, where's my manners? Let me introduce you all to my esteemed faves. We'll start over here with you, George.
Hello, I am Gio, or George, of Gio's Table. I am a Philly food writer and culture writer, and I'm excited to be here with my Lit Brothers.
Yeah, I'm Josh. Josh Eats Philly on Instagram, TikTok, all the things. Do social media, digital marketing, and I love my brothers here. We're eating all the food here in Baltimore, so having a good time.
I am Jamarcus Henderson. I'm all about the music and lifestyle, so just please, I'm just glad to be here with my Lit Brothers here in Baltimore, just having a good black-ass time.
Yes, it's been a great time in Baltimore thus far. Just recovering from a night. So much fun. But, I guess before we get into Baltimore specifically, people always wonder how we all connected, how we all know each other. And I think we all knew each other in different ways, but I don't know, how did this start, if I don't recall?
Oh, you have to.
So it's interesting because there's not many Black people in the food scene in Philly.
That's true.
Especially when you think about it like 10 years ago. So right. I remember at a time, it was just me and you. Ernest had a lot of events. And then Josh shortly came after. Yeah, obviously Jamarcus is your best friend from childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much,
And we would just be in the same circles, and then we need to connect. We keep seeing each other.
Yes.
Let's all get to know each other.
I feel like that's how Black people feel in general when they go to events.
It's
you start seeing
I see you here all the time.
Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not good.
Well,
yeah.
Right.
But no, you're right. I mean, I feel like it's sometimes that the African American urgency or urge to connect.
Right. Yes. Network. Connect. Yes.
It's I see you too many places. We're in the same circle. Something must be here. But we were unique because we were always Black and gay. And so that just, was the icing on the cake. We wasn't trying to film a film or anything. We were just, we wasn't working together. I mean, it could be any it could be an indie film, y'all.
Well, there's that.
There is that.
Or start a reality show or something like that.
That's true. That's true. No. It could have been great.
I mean,
but
never say never, right?
No, that's true.
That's true.
So no, it's true. It's that need. It's I think we all saw each other. You're right. Jamarcus and I have been best friends since forever. And George and I was seeing each other at these events forever. These events, I think it was 5 years ago, my piece, Dining While Black, came out. And so I definitely knew George. And then we just started seeing you because the influencer, you're an OG food influencer.
I remember.
Let the girls know, baby, you was not here.
Right.
You didn't come through in the pandemic.
No, it was pre-pandemic, but it was so funny because at these events, influencers weren't really being invited. Because I know for you were getting in through that organization you were working at.
Yeah,
at the
I was
time.
working for Best Food Philly, which was an Instagram account.
Best Food Philly?
But they
were
like,
a national,
they
were a national Best Food, Chicago Best Food, whatever.
Right. So restaurants recognize that and were inviting you for that. that, but there wasn't a culture of people seeing your individual account and inviting you into a restaurant or inviting you to an event. So I was like one of the first they kind of started testing that out with, because they're like, oh, we, see that you're doing all this stuff. We see your content's really good. Do you want to come to this media event? So I remember showing up at the event, everyone being like, who is this kid? Like, I feel like I got so much negative energy walking into these spaces where I feel like people thought I wasn't supposed to be at. So when I first met you, you were still at Metro. You brought me in with open arms. I saw Gio. I'm like, Gio, I've been following you for a long time. Like, I just saw like what you were doing with the Best of Food Philly and everything like that. And I really wanted to connect with you guys because, like, to me, you guys were doing way more than I was doing, obviously, on the traditional media side.
Yeah.
But I felt there was so much I could learn from it, even like as an influencer at the time.
And Jamarcus was just always here for a good time.
The best bestie.
I got looped up into this. Now I'm in it. It's
like a coat. No, I'm joking.
It's been amazing, honestly. Just a wonderful adventure of getting to know Gio and Josh, of course, my bestie Ernest. So, that ain't going nowhere. It's just, I'm enjoying it, and I'm learning from y'all. Honestly,
it's been a ride.
Because I ain't never been too huge into like, the food Instagram and all
the
that.
food Instagram stuff.
and it was, and like honestly, food was what brought us together initially through that aspect of it, but it became more, of course, and just we got tired of seeing a lot of the plastic of it all at these events. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just. You go to a bunch. Like, we go to, like, I don't know how many events. And
it was like every night a week before the pandemic.
That was before the pandemic.
Yeah. And then sometimes multiple in the same night.
Multiple at a time. Before the pandemic changed everything. Because I want to say before the pandemic, it was like... how did we do that? I don't even know
I was
how I could do that now. What kind of world was we in before the pandemic?
We were all crazy.
We were going... Listen, y'all, before the pandemic, I mean, some of y'all might know this, but, like, there were events every day of the week. Mm-hmm. I didn't do every day of the week, but I did about 4
a week.
Wow, 4 days. Mm-hmm. Like it was normally Monday through Thursday.
Yeah,
and then
maybe
sometimes I didn't do a Monday, but I would do a Tuesday till Saturday.
Right.
And then every blue moon there would be a Sunday event or brunch or something. But there was so much. The industry was so different then.
It was.
And I'm not saying I'm happy about the pandemic. Clearly, it's an unfortunate situation. But the pandemic said to us, I gotta slow down.
Right.
I gotta cool it down. I have to cool it down. Because that's exactly what it was giving, But since the pandemic, we've been able to be more selective and
much more.
And be more... no cattle calls, as some people say.
Very intentional.
Very intentional where we go.
Intentional is the word, correct.
And so we've gone out. But this time around, we have lucked out. We was like, we want to go out of Philly and go to Baltimore.
Yeah.
And we're here. It's been fabulous.
Oh, my God.
Baltimore has been great. We've been able to sit down and really strategize our plan to take over everything.
Yes.
But Baltimore is my city. I'm not from here, but it's my city now. I feel like Nally Nunn. I run this city. I run this town. This is my city. Philly's my city, clearly.
We're taking over Baltimore, too.
That's true. Josh eats Baltimore, it seems like it is this weekend.
It really is, yes.
I mean, are you eating Baltimore? Are you enjoying Baltimore?
Oh, my God. So, wait. We first come up, like, we get off the train, and first thing on the agenda was eating. We went to this taqueria situation. I know you guys know the name of it, but it was from Maximum. It was Atlas Restaurant Group.
And it was in, we're at the Four Seasons. So let me back up a little bit. When we arrived at the Four Seasons, we was at an important historical landmark. It was Jamarcus who reminded me where it was at. When we got here, it was this big, huge circle. And that was important to me. I said, wait a minute, is this the Battle of Lexington? He said, no, this is the Battle of Christian and Blueface's family. And I remember watching that episode. So if you watch Zeus Network, which I love, it's my dirty pleasure. And I know Amanda's somewhere judging me right now, being like, you and this, but this is an important moment in reality history. There was an iconic fight between Christian's family and Blueface's family. And they were out there, and it was like all in this parking lot. And I'll never forget, there were so many clips on that confrontation that's iconic. But I was not even paying attention. And He was like, "Don't this look familiar?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"What is
The
familiar?"
little cul-de-sac area.
The way, yes.
Yeah.
And you saw it, and it was just like, oh my God. So anyway, that
And to
just
think about it, the restaurant we was at last night, Lock.
yes, Lock Bar.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they go there?
Oh, they probably
They
did.
probably did.
They definitely went there.
Wow.
And what was it? This in one of these rooms. This is the one very same
Yo,
hotel
I do feel
that
like this is.
Krishan gave head live.
Oh my God! You know what?
A lot of shit happened here.
And it's Four Seasons Baltimore.
Okay, Four Seasons.
Christian, bless her heart. It's
God
a
bless
vibe
her.
all the time.
It's a vibe. It's a
It
vibe.
is.
all the time.
Oh my God. But it's true. Well, I don't know if this is the rule, but it is definitely pretty. We have a really good view. We can see.
I was
whole
like in the
harbor.
view though.
I really love the Baltimore view.
Baltimore,
just in
y'all
general.
city is
With the
very
waterfront.
You have a nice
Yeah,
city,
seeing the
Baltimore.
harbor.
I don't know why y'all be trying to come to Philly. I get it. Philly
Right.
does have the but I like the fact this is a very water friendly city.
It is.
It's like a water friendly black city. It's a
Very
black
city.
Yeah, very much.
That's
so.
the
majority
thing,
black
too.
city.
Every restaurant we've been to, very diverse clientele.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Very pretty.
You got-
much, yeah.
Yup.
Yeah, everyone's here is so nice.
Right.
At least where we're at.
Yes.
Now I've heard all kind of stories
Well, sure.
across the pond, but I haven't been on that side. I can only talk about where I'm at
Mm-hmm.
and based on my experience.
Right. But
It's
again,
great.
I love to see you go to a place and it's a diverse group of customers.
It
right?
is.
So it's like, versus some places you go to, not going to name any places,
Mhm.
you're the only black person or minority in the entire
I
establishment
do,
or restaurant.
that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
fact. I will
Mhm.
say that every time I've come here, it's like I don't feel like I'm like a special, case.
No.
Exactly. It's
And
very
in
eclectic.
Philly, there are
Mhm.
places in Philly where no matter how much they try,
Mm-hmm.
you go in there and it's just not giving.
You're the only one.
You
Right.
are the only one. Yeah. So Maximum was cute.
Right.
That was the Mexican spot or
Mhm.
Mexican inspired, Latin inspired.
Yeah.
Tacos for days, baby. I could eat all them tacos.
Right. That guacamole.
Ooh.
They
Oh,
had
the guac-
guacamole with
with the
grapes,
grapes.
on it.
So
That
it
was
might
never had
sound
nothing like
weird
that.
to have it with grapes, y'all, because even on my end, I was like, grapes. This
Right.
is giving. You know what it's giving. You know what it's giving.
Yeah.
But it actually wasn't bad.
Right.
not
It's,
bad at
it's
all.
giving
No,
chicken
I-
salad with grapes.
That kind.
Yes,
The
but-
potato salad energy.
Potato
but-
salad
Potato salad with
raisin,
raisins, chicken salad with
you know.
grapes.
Open
But
to
it was
what
not
we've
that. It
been
was delicious.
having.
Oh, 100%.
And just completely immersing myself in this experience.
It is.
Yes.
Yes,
Like,
totally.
it's been
None of the
fabulous.
meals we have have missed. Every meal
Nothing has been.
like,
Nothing
hidden.
has been missed.
Right.
I will say that. Now, what I was gonna say about something, and then I also have questions from fans.
Oh,
I have from my
Lord
phone.
Jesus.
So
Oh,
they have sent. So there are some fan questions that they wanted to ask us, and there were questions that they have asked me, but they wanted to get everyone's different perspective on it. But before we get into all of that, because I know the fans had questions, and so I'm going to ask. I promise the boys, and they have not heard these questions already. So I'm going to bring some of them to them and get your
Lord.
questions asked. And none of you all wanted your names, which I will not name your names to them because I get that. Oh, Beyonce's wearing Gucci during the Renaissance tour in Miami, and they made sure they put a press release out.
Look at her.
This is random. Okay, sorry guys, back on the show. But
She did look good.
it just looks really good. So the one thing, so the things to say about Baltimore. First of all, I don't need to eat another oyster in the rest of my
so
life.
many oysters.
I am oyster the fuck out.
We've had oysters
And I love oysters though.
crab
Oysters,
every meal.
oysters Rockefeller,
Mhm.
all the oysters, bitch. I live.
Yes.
I haven't had this many oysters ever. Now I was just in Martha's Vineyard, last week. The girl was at Martha's, and it was cute, and I had a good time at Martha's Vineyard. But this Baltimore trip, and it's so funny. The Baltimore locals, they're selling me all kind of things. They're trying to get me to go to their hood bars. They want me to go to some spots.
Oh, no.
Listen, y'all, with itinerary, and I'm spoken for. I'm not looking for anyone. Now, I am not single, but I have one friend who's single, but he's not looking for anything in Baltimore. Are you looking, Jamarcus? Are you looking for anything in Baltimore?
Not quite, but
The
I'm
hesitation.
open to it.
He's open for everything.
I've only done 2 out of the 3 F's on this trip. Had fun, got fed,
Fed.
have not been fucked.
Well, he said the dress do the best.
Okay, but
No.
I'm fine with the only 2.
So you want 2 F's out of it?
Yeah.
We'll put 1 F for 4 seasons.
Okay.
You've been 4
Oh,
seasons.
4 seasons.
Yeah.
He's been 4 seasoned.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, Four Seasons Baltimore, my wig is shifted, okay?
The views,
the service.
The
Oh
service.
my God, they did that. Four
That's
Seasons
another
did
thing
that.
too. Service everywhere we've been.
Has
So
been
good.
phenomenal.
The last
Phenomenal.
time I've ever been
Yeah.
to the Four Seasons, I had my honeymoon in Four Seasons in
Oh, yeah.
Philly. But let me tell you, Four Seasons Philly, what's up? Appreciate what y'all do in Philly. But let me just tell you about this Baltimore service, honey. They got a nightclub in here.
Yeah, they did.
The Bygone. I'm jumping all over the place. I'm so sorry.
Ooh.
But the Bygone,
Yeah.
my God.
That was the experience.
That's a nightclub, child. I don't even go to the club like that. I'm not that kind of girl. But
That bottle service we
but
had.
that bottle service
Yes.
that bottle service at Bygone the other night, changed my entire experience.
Right.
I felt like I was a football player. I felt like a top. I was there. The girls were there. They were just with the bottles and it was nice bar. And I loved our section. We had a little VIP section, you know,
honey,
because
the
we are
best.
because
The
we
best,
are grown. You know, and I think I've talked about this. I don't do the dance floor thing. Okay, I got my cute little Versace slides. I don't want nobody stepping on those. And also, too, like what happened last night? Who was it? So
my
Becky,
God.
it was these.
You go into
Go
it.
ahead, these white
I'll go
girls. Go
into
ahead.
it.
This is why we don't go out.
So essentially, we're having a good time at the bar. We're kind of in our own little corner, drinking, and someone comes up and asks, can they take a picture of us? Which we were like, okay, fine, thank you.
We don't mind.
We did not mind.
Well, at first.
At first.
Yes.
So irritating.
But she just wouldn't leave. And one of the things we do talk about is letting us have our space
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
as gay men of color specifically.
That's right.
Like, we were enjoying ourselves. We weren't bothering anybody. We were having drinks. We were enjoying each other. And people kept invading that space.
They kept
Yes.
seeing the section. It was mostly white women. I think it was all white women.
Mm-hmm.
And they just, I don't know, they probably thought we were like, I don't know, execs. I don't know what they thought.
I don't know what they
No
thought.
clue.
I mean, Jamarcus' outfit, it's still, they didn't care. It was giving, Butch Queen, Gothic era. They didn't care. But they just was just over there. It was so dark, but they were just over coming to us because Cicely wanted to take pictures. There was a lot of that going on. But, we were so in the moment at the club
Yes.
that we didn't really notice it. We were just enjoying our drinks and, just having a good time. But it was, but the club, the space itself was nice. They had a rooftop deck connected with the nightclub. Never had anything like that. Now I know there are other rooftops in Philly, not gonna name names, that try to do it. But the difference is that you want your intimacy, you want your section. And also, you want to feel like you're not, even though there were like the groupie energy from, but it wasn't, it was nice to have that section. I don't know. I just feel like Four Seasons, they got the Sky Bar. And this is talking about Philly, the
Which is
JG
really
Skyline,
nice,
which is
yeah.
really nice for eating and sitting. But there has to be a nightclub element.
There has to be.
They have to do something there to get the girls. Because that's what the W has. The W has a nightclub element.
Yes.
They do.
And I will say, the W do have that in Philly. But
love
Four
the W.
Seasons, I need y'all to give me something like that. Because what that was given, and what was great was they had a whole separate elevator.
Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm.
They had a separate elevator. So we were staying on one side of the hotel, but it was another floor for another situation, and you could tell who was at the hotel, who was not at the hotel. But I digress. But it was a night to remember. The confetti threw me out.
Oh my
You
Yeah.
gosh.
seemed Georgia be thrown off by the
I
confetti.
was very thrown off by the confetti because I saw the
I saw the sparklers.
little
I saw the
sparklers.
sparkles. I saw the bottles.
The girls were doing
I
a
was-
thing. I was hyped, and then
Right.
all of a sudden, boom.
Boom! I was
And
like,
from
what?
out
I
of
had
nowhere.
throwbacks to Renaissance.
And I kept saying, I was like,
It
where did
did.
that even come from?
Yeah, it did. It did trigger a
I
renaissance.
did get a
moment.
renaissance at the end of the show, and we started the show with confetti from them, so that was cute.
Right.
But Lock Bar last night.
Oh, yes. We got to talk about the food.
So let me get to Lock Bar. So Lock Bar is owned by Atlas Restaurant Group. They're all over the country. There's Lock Bars all over. So many of you all who listen to Ernestly Speaking, you might be like, Lock Bar, girl, it's in Houston. Yes, it is in Houston. It's in Chicago, I believe. It's in other parts of the country. But, I don't know if you know this, but Lock Bar is coming to Philadelphia in the fall. Let me tell you seafood restaurants out here in Philly. Now, we have a lot of folks in Philly. Philly people love seafood. Even if they don't really know how to do it that well. I mean, y'all love some salmon, Philly, but there's more fish in the sea. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Y'all love some whiting, and y'all love some salmon. Redding, not so much. They don't care for Redding. I look for Redding. I'm like, do y'all have Redding? Snapper, it's exotic. You got to find snapper. And there's some restaurants I hear talking about they got snapper, but I heard it's really tilapia, but they be seasoned in a certain type of way.
Ooh, oh, I did not know.
Oh,
There are some restaurants out here talking about in Philly. I'm not going to name names, not on this podcast at least. That are out here talking about they got big ass red snapper and the shit is tilapia. And I don't eat tilapia.
Wow.
I don't even know if tilapia is a real fish. I am one of them people who entertain that myth. I don't know for certain. But I grew up being told tilapia wasn't real fish. The girls still eat it. If I see tilapia in a fancy restaurant, I'm like, what kind of budget are you on?
Right. That's
what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they judge me because I'm a crab du jour girl. But I do enjoy me some crab du jour with some Louisiana hot sauce. Not Tabasco. And I do like it. But Philly is just like, it's always whiting and it's always salmon.
Mm-hmm.
It is. You know what I'm talking about?
Honestly, I don't like whiting fish.
Whiting?
It tastes like a sock.
Ooh. So whiting tastes like a sock to you?
I don't like the way it tastes.
Have you ever had Philly whiting? Because that's the girls love Philly whiting. And you said it was like a sock.
It tastes like a sock. I got it for breakfast one morning, and I never had it again because it was just so disgusting.
Wow. You didn't think it was good? Okay. Mm-mm. Jamarcus says it wasn't that good. He was over it. I don't recall the last time I had whiting. Oh, I think I had whiting at a fundraiser, like a fish fry.
Oh, yeah.
And they always do whiting. I was like, can y'all do some catfish?
Catfish.
People really don't like catfish around here.
On cornmeal.
Oh,
okay.
Speak on that. Okay. Catfish on what?
Catfish needs to be fried in cornmeal. I'm talking about Sunday church fried catfish. Yeah. Okay, bitch. Anyway.
That's true. I'm not disagreeing with that. I agree.
We gotta be for real.
No
crunch.
That crunch,
the softness on the inside. That's what you need.
This is making me want to eat.
With the Louisiana hot sauce.
Louisiana, yes. Shout out to that restaurant. They might identify themselves eventually. I'm not going to out them until they decide to out themselves. But shout out to that restaurant who let me have a Louisiana. not in Baltimore. This is in Philly. There's a restaurant that I love to death. They have fried fish, fried seafood. Seasoned down, honey. It's delicious.
Very good.
And what I like about it is it's so good. But the thing is that they already used to have Tabasco. Mm-hmm. Same thing to me. I'm not doing either way. I'm not doing tobacco or Tabasco. But they, I was like, I need to try this, and this would be good with Louisiana. And they have a bottle of me with my name on it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Ernest always Louisiana hot sauce
bottle. They just gave me the bottle. But yes. Lock Bar is coming. It's a seafood restaurant. We had it last night.
Yes, we did.
We tried it. And basically, this is going to be what is coming to Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
That was a meal.
It was a meal.
Mm-hmm.
It was a meal.
Scallops.
I was about
Scallops
to say,
were phenomenal.
You guys got the surf and turf.
Yeah. I did a surf and turf, filet mignon with a crab cake.
The crab
that
cake.
Baltimore crab baby owes me nothing.
Yes.
In Baltimore, y'all don't owe me nothing. I was fat and happy. Okay?
Right. He was fat and happy.
We started with the oysters. What else did we do for starters?
And the seafood tower.
The seafood
tower. Oh, they had a good
That's
seafood tower.
We had that seafood
Lock
tower.
Bar has one of the best seafood towers I've ever had in my entire life.
It had
I
crab,
can say that.
lobster,
tuna
shrimp,
poke.
Tuna poke
on the seafood tower, clams, oysters, mussels, like everything.
That
on
everything.
The seafood tower.
Yep.
Lock Bar. It's spelled LOCH.
Right.
And they're on Instagram at Lock Philly.
Lock Bar Philly.
Lock Bar Philly.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all something. I'm never the girl to hype things, but I'm sorry. Some stuff is worth hyping. And for me, I just think Philly, this is our time, seafood lovers. Mm-hmm. It's our time. Seafood lovers unite.
Get excited.
Get excited. I have been very much unimpressed with seafood in Philly for a long time. Now, I've been this year forever. This is the year of seafood for me.
It really is.
It really has. I've been oystering it down. I've been loving me some seafood. Yeah, seafood towers on deck. I had one at Prime Rib. Pearl and Mary. Pearl and Mary have a good. Now that was that's a legendary one right there.
The Wayward.
The Wayward. Well, that's what we all.
That's where we started.
That was our started. That was the shout out to the Wayward. That's what we all got together, and had a happy
Our
hour
legendary
honestly,
happy
and
hour.
just
started
changed
like that.
everything. It was
Yeah.
last year,
Yeah.
January 2022. So it's been about over a year and a half.
Almost
Yeah.
two.
Almost
It's-
two
it's
doing
four-
happy
In
hours.
4 months,
Yeah.
it'll be 2 years.
It'll be 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think we started in December though.
Yeah.
It was 21.
It was ahead of the
December.
holiday.
It was ahead of
before the
holiday.
holidays, yeah.
But then,
So we coming up on 2 years.
yeah,
this
we
year.
are 2 years.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, there's a lovely woman who is a fan of this podcast that made a Lit Brothers calendar.
Oh my gosh.
And
yeah.
she gave it to me during one of my book signings. Early, it was the week of the book's release. She came out to the first public signing,
Yes.
which was at Penn, my alma mater, and she came with the calendar,
Oh my god.
showed me it. It's gorgeous. Someone made a calendar for us. She knows who she is, and she's talented. And I'm just like, I have to see her again. You know, another event I have, I don't know. She had photos that we had at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's enough content, I think, where she can literally make a calendar for each month
Right.
of the year with our group photos from various locations. She's been very much big on this whole, you need to make a calendar, you need to make a calendar, you need to make a calendar. I really want to take her on that offer. I'm going to really get creative. She gave me a whole concept and everything. She's so dope. But every time we take pictures together, I just think of her. But that was when I knew the Salem was real.
2024 calendar then.
Yes,
Okay,
maybe.
okay.
I think people need a calendar. Calendars are so necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So we went somewhere. People's been asking about this. Crushes. That's what we're talking about. Crushes. We're not talking about boy crushes. We're talking about drinks, y'all.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't get messy.
Orange crush, grapefruit crush, lemon crush.
Lime crush.
So
Lime crush,
you
right.
asked, what is a crush, George?
So he essentially described it as a beach day light cocktail with a juice, I believe vodka, topped with a little bit of Sprite. That's the basic.
And some triple sec.
Triple
It's triple
sec,
sec.
the
Triple sec. That's what
yeah.
I forgot.
That takes
was
different.
That's where
what
the
made
sweetness gets.
The sweetness in there,
yes,
the
yes.
liqueur of it.
Oh, well, damn, I was making that the whole time. We've been making that shit
I think
at the
we've been
house.
making at the house. We've been making that. But bitch, we never use ice. So maybe that's what it was.
With crushed ice.
With crushed
crushed
ice. You
ice.
have to have the
That's the
crushed
thing.
ice.
Yeah.
We've been making that right
I
in
think
the
we've been
hood
making
right
That's a hood
drink.
cocktail. I feel like it was a hood bar cocktail drink. Let's repeat that again, just for
Repeat
those.
that.
Now
Okay.
hear it as a hood version.
Yeah,
of
we're
that.
going to try to hear this.
So it was vodka,
Mm-hmm.
triple sec,
Uh-huh.
juice.
We've been doing that.
And top was right.
Top
Top
was
was
right.
right.
Yes.
Okay, and some of us did ginger ale back in the day.
You know what? I
So-
like Brown Baltimore. Y'all some
It's a hood. But they didn't turn this hood ass drink. So I was listening
It's
like,
good, though.
it's very good. I think I want another crush tonight.
We getting it.
Yeah.
And it's in ice, and it was in crushed ice, but it was so good.
It was really good.
I don't know. I was like, what is this? We was at, what bar was we at? The Watershed.
Yes,
The Watershed.
The Watershed in Baltimore, another
Brunch.
Atlas restaurant group. We went there for brunch, tore that up. What did we have? We didn't have a seafood
They
tower. We
gave
had
us
a.
that crab.
The
Royal-
steamed
crab platter.
Or
Let-
steamed seafood
Let
platter.
me tell you
Steamed
something.
seafood platter,
Jamarcus
yes.
was over here acting like King Triton with this damn. Was it a
The
crab?
whole
A
piece of
crab.
crab.
It
Full.
was giving me
Oh,
Sebastian
wow.
energy.
Right. From the
Sebastian was
mermaid.
delicious.
He was.
Sebastian was
They
delicious.
seasoned him up with some Old Bay honey. It
Oh, he
so
was well
delicious.
seasoned.
Yes, he was well good. Crab on deck, crab on deck. What we have, ceviche? Oh, what, crab dip?
The
Oh,
crab
y'all
dip.
love y'all
Crab
some
dip.
crab
That
dip in
crab
Baltimore.
dip. Oh, and
Baltimore
them
loves
egg
some
rolls.
crab dip.
Oh, the
crab
crab
egg rolls.
crab egg rolls.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
those
So
are
at the
delicious.
Watershed in Baltimore, they have these crab egg rolls.
It's
Yup.
all crab.
It's all crab, whole lump crab meat.
Right. It was like no filler.
No
all crab.
filler. It was so good, and I was so happy with the taste. Oh, that was a
Right.
that was a
That was
sneaker
amazing.
hit. I wasn't walking there thinking of them or thinking of that, but that was what took me. They have the best questions I've tried in Baltimore. If there's other people that have better questions, let me know.
Let us know.
But that was very good. Those questions were the bomb. I had a grapefruit one. You had the original orange one. They love this orange.
Orange crush.
Orange crush. They keep talking about orange crush.
Right.
I'm like, what is this? It tastes like, and this is no shade. Not Tropicana, Tapico. Remember in the hood, the Tapico citrus juice?
That's what I was saying.
But I don't want to
right.
call it juice because it wasn't juice. It was drink.
It was
Yeah,
like sunny.
there was
It
no
was never-
juice in it.
It
It was
never,
drink.
and it never
It was
got
orange
cold.
drink.
It never got cold.
Orange
No
drink.
matter how
never-
long you put it in the refrigerator, it can never get cold.
No,
You
it
remember
was
they make
always
the
spicy.
strawberry version? See, I remember this
there
growing
was
up.
also a blue one, too.
Oh, the blue one was like a limited edition. Y'all
Ooh,
know
that
what I'm
was a
talking
good
about.
one.
It was called Tapico or something, y'all. Y'all remember this? And I don't see it around no more. Maybe because I just don't drink drink no
y'all know
more.
about that.
It was in a gallon. They used to serve it in a gallon. And it was what I call the poor person's Sunny D.
Yes, it was the poor person Sunny D.
It was the poor person's
Yes.
Sunny D. Or what's the other one? Tang.
Tang.
The Tang in
Tang
a
was
gallon.
Oh, that's old school.
It's
Tang's
very old
old
school,
school.
but that was a memory. All of these things have been discontinued to my knowledge, unless Sunny D is still out there. But this drink reminds me that Orange Crush tastes like that. And if you know what I'm talking about, folks who've had crushes, beverage crushes,
Okay.
this is it for you. This is hot. We went somewhere.
Tampico.
Tampico.
That's what it
Oh, it's
was.
called Tampico.
We had it right there.
Tampico, yeah, Tampico.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. Now, the other one we went to, and this got a little lit.
Oh, the what was it called?
It was another bar we went to right
Outdoor
after
one in Fells Point.
we were lit.
Why is it escaping me?
I know, right?
It was really good though.
It was right next to the dock.
The
Oh, the chop tank.
the chop
The
tank, yeah,
chop,
the chop
the
tank.
chop
Yes.
tank,
The chop tank.
the chop tank.
It's given.
Right
It
in
was
Fells Point.
everything. We had Oysters Rockefeller
We got
there.
to sit outside.
We got to sit outside.
And shout out to the Chop Tank for having such good looking staff.
Jamarcus enjoyed the staff there. Tell us more, you single whore.
We love the staff at the Chop Tank, okay?
The staff was
Y'all
good,
look
though.
very nice. Mhm.
And then remember,
You like the general manager?
Yes, he's amazing.
He was
Yes,
amazing.
We love
and then
to
that
see
bartender, she was so hype.
Oh, she was the bomb.
She was amazing.
She made us some shots.
She named the shot after us.
Yeah,
She did.
Yes, the bartender was hype. The live music band situation, they
Oh,
were
yeah,
hype.
the woman?
I did like her.
Her
They
name
were
was,
shouting out Ernest
something.
while they were singing.
Yes, she was.
I forget her name,
I forget her name too, but she was live.
and she was
Right.
nice.
She
was very
sweet.
nice.
She did live
She's a
singing,
Mhm.
and she had the talent. She had the range.
She did, and she was like, "Okay, Ernest."
Oh yeah, she was dope, and she was sweet, and it was a great crowd. She sung the songs I liked.
Mm-hmm.
I had some specific requests, and she definitely. Oh, Taylor.
Oh, Lord.
Well, it was was it Cruel Summer?
It
It
was
was a
Cruel
Cruel
Summer.
Summer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yep.
No, screw.
She might though.
Hey, you ain't have 15 seconds yet.
Yeah, we
You
good, we
I gave her 5
Yeah,
seconds,
exactly.
but it was a Cruel Summer.
It was a cruel summer.
But no,
That sun is cruel, I'll tell you that.
yes,
Oh.
it is. The sun has been beaming. This is perfect weather.
The
No, it had
This
to
is
be beautiful
dog
weather.
days of
Yeah.
summer energy.
Yes. Mhm.
This is peak summer, bitch. This is everything.
Yes.
But no, the shots was great. I liked the woman who was singing live. So she was taking my request. The energy was she wanted some alternative adult music, which I listen to a lot of trashy music, but I also like I like a lot of pop. But I like Foo Fighters, and she played Everlong on guitar, and that was awesome.
Yes.
I'm just thinking about that. If anybody who's a Foo Fighters fan and you know the music, Everlong is a hit.
Absolutely.
I wanted My Hero, but that's a little too much for her range.
Yeah.
I was like, she ain't about to be blasting them up like that. But I was like, you know what, Everlong is a safe one. She played it and she rocked it out.
And she had it with Gaga.
And she did it with Gaga. She did Poker Face.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did Poker Face and did a good job with it.
She
too.
did. So we love the vibes.
She could have did back that ass up by Juvenile.
She was not giving.
She was not
not
giving
giving
you
that
that.
energy.
No, what he wanted is an open table. He
Right.
wanted an
Let me
open
stop playing. I'm
table.
bullshit.
No, but he wanted an open table NPR.
Yeah.
Single again. Black on the prop.
Hey.
That's what she wanted. Jamarcus wanted that. I was like, she's not an NPR open table girl.
Yes, yes.
But she was definitely doing her thing. Nonetheless, because we do
She's
like
a-
live
she's
artists.
amazing.
I do
She
like a
was.
live artist. She was very memorable over there. And that whole view was everything.
The
The view was great.
The
Right.
view, the
Yes.
service was great.
Mm-hmm.
And they look great.
Jamarcus really loved the staff and the service there.
And then what was in our cocktail, our shot?
Yeah, what was in the shot, George? You've been keeping
Okay,
tally.
okay.
You've been keeping track. That's why I'm like, George, what was
I'm
in our
the
shot?
tab keeper. Apparently,
Yeah.
it was a lemon
Mm-hmm.
vodka.
Okay.
Yes.
I think she said Eddie's, but I don't
Something
remember.
Eddie's
Eddie's.
vodka. Okay,
Eddie's,
Eddie's.
lemon vodka.
Okay.
Lemon infused
Mhm.
vodka. Guava liqueur.
Mm-hmm.
Guava liqueur,
Cranberry juice for the color.
cranberry juice.
A little bit of pineapple juice. A little bit of coconut.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's what's
With
set it off.
with a sugar rim.
With a sugar rim in the shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
That's
she
what
called
it
the
was.
Lit Brothers shot over there. So if you
Yes.
go there, just tell her what we told you and give her the instructions and she'll make it.
Correct.
That coconut, I think, whatever that did, gave it the
It
smoothness.
just-
It went right down.
It tastes like a Starburst.
Yeah,
It did
tastes
take a Starburst.
Like,
Starburst.
like the red or pink one.
Yeah, combined. They had a baby.
So
yes,
good.
yes.
If the red and
pink
pink
Starburst had a baby,
it would be a lip brother shot.
A lip brother shot.
Basically.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The food was great. You like the food. We like the food. We like the nightlife. We're going out to dinner tonight. Where are we going, guys? Where are we going? What are we doing for the rest of the trip?
Monarch is tonight.
Monarch.
That's the name.
And it's spelled with a Q-U-E.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of duck on the menu, you said, Josh.
Yeah, it's like a French
Quack,
restaurant.
quack, quack, quack. I am definitely going to give me some fucking duck. I
Yes.
am oystered the fuck out. I want some duck. I want some juice on it. I want whatever. But I need something different.
Right.
Not that. Listen, let me tell you something. Baltimore, y'all got it on the seafood, baby. Okay, crab
y'all
legs,
good with it.
baby. We did crab legs.
my Lord.
We did
Old-Bay shrimp.
mussels and
Mussels,
I'm
clams.
obeyed out. Okay.
Did all of it.
Yes. Because I was just saying, put that Old Bay on me because I'm acting brand new. Okay, because that's what it was giving. It was
Right.
put that Old Bay on me because I'm acting brand new. They're like, Ernest, you don't eat seafood like that. No, bitch. I eat like this in Galveston. I haven't had a seafood experience in Philly that made me go crazy like this.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
It is
It is
phenomenal.
so
And so
good.
when Lock Bar comes to Philly,
Mm-hmm.
when
Look
Lock
at
Bar,
change the game.
I need to let people see. This is the thing. I need the people to understand what we're saying because when I told them about Friday, Saturday, Sunday many years ago, and I was like, I'm a Friday, Saturday, Sunday evangelist. Y'all get on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Y'all, it's the shit. At least 5 years I've been telling people about Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Finally went to James Bitter War, and now everybody want to be like, yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Ernest, you should recommend it. Get the fuck out of my face. How did you know about it? Oh, you waited for a James Bitter War to happen? Late.
Yeah.
A trendsetter sets the trend before it comes. So I'm telling you as a trendsetter, when Lock Bar comes to Philly, don't hit me up talking about something. Ernest, you gotta try this Lock Bar restaurant, yo. How did you find out about word of mouth? Go back to the source of most major things that have happened when it comes to food search situations. And I look at certain trends, and I know I was the trend.
Right.
And I'm not trying to be cocky. A good example happened. A friend of mine sent this to me, and I wasn't even going to say nothing. I just kept it to myself. But they said that Beyonce, I don't know if y'all saw that statistics about Beyonce in nails in cities. There was a boom in research of asking about nail parlors and salons for Beyonce concert today.
Which makes sense.
And you know where that makes sense from.
Yeah.
Because my nails went viral that I got for the Beyonce concert. And the nail salon that did my nails, because I told them that the dancers at my salon got hit up on Fox 29, and it became this whole segment about nails based off of where I got my nails from. Which then they did the Google tracking, and there was a whole article that said that searches for Beyonce nails went up by 125% in the algorithm. It was like this wild percentage number that was driven. Friend of mine I didn't even say nothing about it. They just said, yo, this is because of you. And I said, see.
Right.
They
Real
saw
influence.
the data and the trend.
Yeah.
So there is people who may not say it up front, but we see who be looking at them Instagram stories.
That's true.
We be seeing these views. We be seeing these downloads and analytics on these podcast episodes. It is Black people behind the source of a lot of these trends that's happening in these cities like Philly and Baltimore and everywhere else. It is us who's really out here putting the hood on notice. Becky would never have known. Seriously, she's not going to get my nails where I get my nails done. These restaurants, they don't, too spicy, too hot. I can't do it. It's too hot and spicy.
Horrible.
You can't go here and eat these crabs the way you're supposed to eat them. You can't eat this food the way it's supposed to be. And then they go to us. And then, of course, then there's the, white guy, the Chad. I'll call him the Chad, the Brad. They then turn around and be like, oh my God, this is hot. I heard it was hot. Who you hear was hot from? Who?
Real influence.
Who? Who did you hear was hot from?
Child.
Quiet. If you haven't had a food account on Instagram for more than 5 years, you can't sit next to me. You can't tell me nothing about nothing when it comes to this food game. Because it's some people that come and they new. And I mean, new people, everybody got to start somewhere. But there's some people coming around here acting like they run this town after the pandemic. Baby, if you was not here in 2018 or less, don't sit with me. You can't talk to me about it. You was inspired. If you was birthed, okay, let me be very clear. I'm going to be very specific. If your food Instagram page was birthed after 2018, you cannot talk to me. about the game. Now, there's people that blew up and they didn't have moments and stuff.
Fabulous.
But you're not. But you cannot say you're original. You're not. You cannot say you're an OG, because the people who are creating the pages, some of them, those pages are good, they're original, whatever. But what I am noticing is you cannot act like you invented your style. The voiceover over videos, baby. I was born in Chicago, grew up in Houston. I have friends in high school, people I grew up with. Jamarcus, we used to hear the restaurant review voices were black girls in the South. Mm-hmm. Like the video thing, and now the white girls are doing it now, do a voiceover over the reviews. Where did that come from? Because I know people who was doing that shit before the pandemic. And so there's some people taking credit, and it irks me sometimes when I see a lot of these trends. I'm like, girl, you didn't bring that. You didn't make that. You did not invent that. Mm-hmm. But they be coming here acting like they deserve credit. Just because you put a watermark on the video don't mean that it's your video. Mm-hmm. But as somebody who's been in the food scene in that way, both of you two, George and Josh, I mean, more so, I mean, I was doing my thing since 2014.
I know. Like,
they don't even remind. We have to remind the girls. We have to remind the girls, because the girls be out here. Now, I'm not like some people that act like I'm Christopher Columbus with it. But what I will say is I was out here before they were giving the girls free food.
Right. Agree.
I was on date nights. People remember this. I was at in my style, and everybody has a style. And that brings me to my questions from my fans, actually. Let me pull these questions up. Actually, it was for you two, but I'm going to, we can chat about it. But what is it? How does it feel like to see, well, first of all, congratulations, Josh, on winning at the Philly Mag Influencer Awards.
Thank you so much.
Food Influence of the Year. Of
Still
course.
so
Are we
surreal.
Surprised? But someone asked, how do you feel with accounts that's coming in that are new, but with way more followers? Are they fake? What does that mean? And how do you feel seeing all of these new food influencers come in that might be ripping off your style? How do you deal with it? And I ask both of y'all, because I'm going to start with you, George.
Well, I think imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Right.
You were just saying, like, we all do different things, right? And I'm a big proponent of saying, like, Black people are not a monolith. Mm-hmm. But as you said, we are trendsetters, and we see a lot of people copy our style and steal our things. So anybody can come into the game. People are coming to the game. They may or may not be buying followers. I don't know. I do think it's suspicious when you're growing tens of thousands in 2 weeks. But, who am I? I've only been in the game 7, 8, 9.
Exactly.
Who am I? So I will say, though, for me, my personal style is I'm supporting Black-owned business, food and travel. I've hosted a podcast, which is coming back. Me and Ernest are talking about that.
That is yes, we
that's
are.
coming
More
up.
podcasting.
And my goal is to give kind of the underdogs of the Philly food scene some shine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't really see many people doing that.
Mm.
So that's kind of my perspective. I don't really care who's coming after. To your point, I actually like seeing more Black, brown, and people of color as influencers. Mm-hmm. But it don't no sweat off my back.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I think for me to agree with everything that you said, I think a lot of it does come down to kind of like, what is your end game? Like, what's your goal, right? So I think a lot of people see what I do, see what Ernest does, see what Gio does, and like, oh, I could do this too. This is super easy, whatever it may be. But like, is your motivation that you want to support Black-owned businesses? Is your motivation that you want to support, local businesses? Kind of like, what's your end game? Because when Ernest and I started, when Gio started, we were paying for our own food. So this wasn't like a whole situation of us.
Still
like,
do.
Still
the
do.
girl gets reimbursed.
Right. But like, the thing is, like, for us, it wasn't the situation of I'm going to start an Instagram or TikTok account to get free food, because that just didn't exist. Like, we did it because we were passionate about food. We were passionate about businesses. And then also for me personally, I love to share the story of the business owner. So like, if I go to a place and the owner or the chef just so happens to be there, I like to ask the questions like, who are you? What's your story? How did you get started? And then if I can use my platform to like highlight that or showcase that, I think that that's so important and influential, because that's like real influence, because my followers like to see that. They're like, oh, so and so, I may have gone to school with this person, or I know this person. I'm glad to see that they're doing well. I'm glad to see they have a business, and I want to support them as a person. So I think motivation's a huge thing, because from when we started, like, it wasn't about free food. It wasn't even about monetization. It was just about, hey, we love food, we love people, and we want to kind of showcase what's going on in the city, right? So when I see, newer accounts start, I feel like for me, it's always like, kind of what are you doing? Like, what do you want to do with this account that you've started? Kind of what do you want to showcase? What's your voice more specifically? Because if all you're doing is starting the account to get free food, you're going to just be posting the same things everybody else is posting. Mm-hmm. What makes you unique? What's your voice? Kind of what's your angle? And it's true. And it's interesting too, because when we started, we were like the few people doing this, you're off doing, like, especially when you were starting, like a lot of the higher end places, you do a lot of the cooking and stuff like that. I was going to places in my neighborhood, you were going to places in your neighborhood. So we all from the day one had a different voice in this, right? Yeah. And it's like, I feel like what you see now, because it is in a way so oversaturated, you see a lot of accounts out there, but everyone's posting the same thing.
Yeah.
What happened to that individuality? What happened to the different voices people had? So I agree with Gio. I want to see more diversity, both like in color but also in voice. Like, what are you showcasing that the other girls aren't showcasing?
Yeah.
Set yourself apart, prove yourself. And then if you set yourself apart and prove yourself, your account will grow authentically and naturally.
Yeah, because I'm like bored. I'm looking at these people like I don't even know what I would even want from some of you all.
Right. Or you.
Every day it's like, I like food. And it's like, but what are you doing that's completely different from what the other person's doing? Mm-hmm. Oh, I just like food. So you're just looking for.
And it's no longer just Instagram. Like, the TikTokers are coming in.
They're coming in hot and hard.
The TikTokers are. Oh, God.
They are coming in hot and hard. And that was something for me, too, just in my own kind of journey and transition. So I got on TikTok in 2019. So a year before all these other girls got on there. Because I wanted to see, like, at the time, you remember, because you are a trendsetter. So you were seeing trends. You were already seeing what was going on. So similarly, I was like, I see a lot of these kids are getting on this app. I decided to, like, put my platform on the app as well. For two reasons. I wanted to hold my name, because I don't want somebody stealing the name Josh Eats Philly on TikTok, right? Yeah. So I got on the app early, and I started posting on TikTok, honestly, a year or two before everybody else was really on there. And I think for me, being that trendsetter, in a way, I was like, able to kind of get myself established on the app before a lot of the other kids got out there. But from what I've been seeing, people get on TikTok, they get their followers, and then they're like, okay, I'm an influencer now. But it's like, number one, who are you? What's your story? And what are you influencing? Like, what are you trying to convey? Like, who are you talking to? Who is your audience? Like, have you had those conversations? Have you figured that out? And I think a lot of them haven't, because, like, they get the followers and like, okay, I'm an influencer, but it's like, you have to have an audience, right? Like a group of people that you're speaking to specifically. Because that's all marketing is at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. And I think for me, it's been interesting on the editorial side and journalistic side of it, just looking at people who have been revisionists about how this all went down. They think it started the pandemic. Like, oh, we had to say these restaurants, and it's like, no, this is a world before that.
In a whole different world.
A whole different world.
Oh, my God.
So I'm going to ask the next question from listeners. So is there ever been let me put the pretense there before I get to the question. They said, and this can go for all of us because we've all experienced this. So it looks like every time you all go out, you have a good time at these restaurants. Is there ever a time where you've pretended that you liked something more than you did? It wasn't good, you didn't like it, but you posted anyway?
No.
Question. No.
No, we don't pretend.
I don't pretend. I am big on that. Y'all, there are a lot of places I've gone to that you have not known I've went to.
Exactly. That's what I always tell people. If I don't like it, I don't post. Like,
yeah, if I like it, I post it. Now, if your experience is different from my experience, that is what it is. That's life. You know what I'm saying?
Just today, they brought a salad to our table we did not touch.
Yeah. So we're not. So when we go on social media with this restaurant, we're not even going to post a salad. It's like,
yeah, because we just didn't want it.
Right,
we wasn't feeling it. But it wasn't even that it was a bad salad. It was just that we just was like,
everything else was so great.
Everything was so good. Right.
But to the point, though, there has been a lot of people on the gram being the pictures, like, I love this down. I would say for but it took time to figure it out.
Yeah.
But But I would say no later than 5 years ago, probably at the latest. Because sometimes you struggle. So my thing used to be, I will show what I liked.
Yes.
And I would never talk about what I didn't like.
Yeah.
But there are some places overall that was just so bad.
Right.
Yeah.
That in retrospect, and people try to say, well, what about Dinner and Blanc? First of all, let me explain something to y'all. Dinner and Blanc was something I did as media that I went to maybe 5 years ago.
Right.
That as me, and I went 2 times back and forth. The first time I went, the weather was weird. I was like, I don't want to judge it based off of that.
Yeah.
The second time I went back, which the next year, I was kind of like, okay, this is the same energy. I thought maybe it's a season where it's like, okay, one good time, it's one bad time. And I don't know if you all know this, but like any food critics, anyone who is like reviewing restaurants on a serious journalistic tip, you're supposed to go to a restaurant at least 3 times. You don't really supposed to tell them, you're not telling them you're there. You go 3 times, you get the meal, you don't really make it known. And then, after that, you might put out the review. That's the old school way. That is dying in the industry because the industry is just shifting.
Yeah.
But traditionally, food critics go at least 3 times. You don't go 3 times the same week. You kind of spread it out. You don't tell them you're going. I mean, if they catch your identity, it is what it is. But you need to go to observe it at different times. And normally, they encourage you to try different times. So you might, if you can. If there's a lunch situation, go to lunch. Go to breakfast if they have that. Go to dinner. Maybe do an earlier dinner setting, go a later dinner setting, just to get a vibe about the flow of the restaurant. But then you make the critique off of that. So I come from the old school way of doing it when I review certain restaurants. Now, there are some restaurants I go to, and I'm just trying it, and I'm like, let me just see what they're bringing to the table. No pun intended. And then I get a taste, and I'm like, okay, that's good, right? Lock Bar, it was just good. I went, thought it was great. Like, I know Philly is going to lose their mind. If they keep that consistency up,
Right.
it's going to be fire. But that's what I think about some of it. But there's some places I've been to, and I feel comfortable saying it now because there was a lot of controversy this week. I wrote my first editor for Eater Philly about Bankroll, when Bankroll went bankrupt, pretty much. They just was on top and they flopped. I don't even know if South Saturday was on top, but they had a lot going for them. A lot of press, a lot of buzz, a lot of attention. And, I never went. And that's why and also, I wasn't feeling it. Did you all ever see a video of me at Bankroll? Did you ever see a post on Instagram about Bankroll from me? I never went. I did. I know, and it's so funny. Like, sometimes I tell the boys privately, there's some events, I'm not going to name all the places, but I have dodged bullets. I was like, people wanted me to go. I was like, for whatever reason, something told me I shouldn't go. Sometimes it's parties and there'd be super spreaders, But, but sometimes you're just in a position where you're just like, I have to be selective about where I go. And then the places that I don't go or I miss, I guess y'all done missed it too.
I think being selective has been the biggest thing for us.
Yeah, all of us.
So that's one reason why we miss a lot of bad things. So
we do. We've dodged a lot of bullets.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
One thing that I do, especially if an existing restaurant reaches out saying, Josh, we see your platform, we see what you're doing, we'd love for you to experience what we have to offer, whatever it may be. I'll go to the restaurant's Yelp. I'll go to their Google reviews and just see what are actual customers saying. And honestly, there have been places where every single review is a 1 star, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to go. Like, I'm not going to waste my time. And I get it. Some people are going to say, some of them reviews are fake, this, that, the third. But if you have 100 reviews and 50 of them are 1 star, there's a problem, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I'm never doing that for new restaurants, because new restaurants have a special place. Like, it's not going to be perfect.
Exactly.
And that's the people that be coming to me like, oh, this is bad. This. I'm like, y'all, it's been open for like 2 weeks. Pipe down.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they need time to get in their flow. But see, let me say this, because now I'm in my bag. One of the things that have annoyed me about the rise of some of the food influencers, and it's not everybody, but some people on social media, is that you could tell some of these people are hella young. They don't know the difference between ceviche and poke or tartar.
Ceviche, toke,
they don't know any of the differences. They're not eating any of this food, for real. Let's keep it 100. Baby, I got the body and the weight to show you I didn't eat this food. But regardless, some of these people, I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like somebody said something like, "Oh, this is sushi fish." Sushi fish?
There was a situation too at like a Mexican restaurant that was an authentic Mexican restaurant, and one of the influencers didn't like the chips, and they were authentic chips because they're used to like Tostitos bag chips. That's what they grew up with, and they literally in their review said, "I don't like these chips."
And these are the real chips.
Exactly.
These are authentic Mexican chips, the restaurant chips. And first of all, they have no class because anybody who really buys tortilla chips, because I don't know what these Becky's are doing, but like you go inside, right? There's different types of tortilla chips. There's restaurant style. There's the hard dip style. There's different ones. And so I'm looking at some of these people like, you don't even know what you're eating. You don't know what you've been eating. Your whole understanding, education about food is fucked up. But you're over here literally about to drag a business. They have it. Now, some restaurants are just not good. And that's what it is.
That's totally fair.
But to me, the problem goes in these restaurants too.
Yeah.
Stop inviting people who don't have the range. Google and research the influencers that you're bringing to your spots. Like, if you're going to some of these restaurants, like, these are underage kids. They're like 18, 19. And I mean underage in the sense they're under 21. Because restaurant culture, to me, you shouldn't be a food influencer if you're under 21. That might be controversial to people, but
you're not experiencing half the restaurant if they have a bar and a cocktail program.
Until Barry and I started going on dates senior year in college, I was 22. This was 2014. I was starting to do a lot of that type of high-end eating. I mean, I was in a position where, one, I knew my wines by then. I knew how to drink wine. I knew how to pair wine. I had a very clear understanding of a cocktail.
Right.
There's people out here just like, they look at me like, what you drinking? I'm like, it's a Cosmo. It's a Cosmo.
Oh, I remember that.
It's a Cosmo.
I remember that.
You remember that, who that was. And I looked at them like, it's a Cosmo, baby. What? Like,
and it was like the most classic Cosmo you could ever
imagine. It was
a
very traditional martini glass.
Exactly.
And I was like, why am I here? Why are you here?
And that's the bigger question.
I was like, why am I here? I was like, no, why are you here?
Right.
This is a grown-ass restaurant, but these people are following people who are not being transparent about their range and what they're supposed to do. And one of the things that we have just done, I think, as a group, is that we are very much so going out to restaurants and eating this food ourselves.
Right. And we're also asking...
Yes, we do.
We're also asking the questions. I think that's a big thing, too. So we're adventurous eaters, which I think, number one, huge requirement if you're going to be a real foodie, whatever you want to call yourself, you got to be an adventurous eater. But then if we don't know something, we ask, right? So even the whole thing with Orange Crushes, we weren't just going to go up in there and be like...
No, we were
we saw questions on the menu, but we were like, I wasn't going to play the drink. Maybe there's something I don't know.
Right, and we ask the question, but that's how you learn. That's how then you're going to be an expert, right? So then that's why people trust what we have to say, because we're willing to ask the questions and make sure that we know what we're talking about. So when we do a video, when we do a post and we say, these Orange Crushes were good, we know what an Orange Crush is. We ask the questions. We ain't just making crap up. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think all of it is relevant. And I think for me, it's like, if I go somewhere and maybe there's something I don't know about, I'd rather ask than just be like, oh, I didn't like it. You know?
Yeah,
because sometimes you need context,
You don't even know why you don't like it.
Exactly.
You don't know what you're not liking.
Exactly.
And that's the red flag for me.
Yep.
Question she had for someone else. Put this up. This is a good one.
Uh-oh.
Restaurant that you like. Restaurant that you like.
Uh-oh.
Restaurant that you don't like. Restaurant that you think is overrated.
I'm gonna let you start.
I'm gonna start.
Okay,
Yeah,
you can thought about it because I'm like,
because I gotta.
You gotta process. I'm gonna
I know because I'm like this.
Because I got these questions ahead of time. So
Right.
okay, my favorite restaurant is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's
For sure.
just 100%
Right. Love it.
down. Gonna always love the girl. A restaurant that I don't like.
That's a hard one for me.
Okay, a restaurant that I don't like. I'm gonna be honest.
Go be honest.
I'm gonna be honest. Because it's been open long enough. I don't like Amina's in Old City. I'm gonna just say I don't like Amina's, and it's not and it's hard because I'm trying to like I just think, yeah, I just what I expected versus what it was is different, and it's not just about service. I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, a black-owned restaurant, has to be da da da. It was just. It just just everything is just hot and touch and cold. And I'm saying this as someone who went there multiple times in different situations. So I'm coming from a place of, I didn't go one time and had a bad experience. I've went multiple times and have had multiple like not good experiences. And people I know, like no one I know who's went is like, I love this place, you should go. It's like everybody kind of just say it should be there. Now, restaurant is overrated. Ooh, child.
This is hard, honestly, because I'm like thinking in my head right now.
Overrated? I'm gonna say Pernella. I feel like everybody just keeps talking about Pernella's happy hour, and I'm just kind of like, it's okay. Right. I don't find myself being like, oh my God, you gotta go here. I just feel like it's not horrible, but I just feel like it's been driven by a lot of influencers.
Yeah.
And they've been talking about it, and I'm just kind of like, maybe your taste buds haven't evolved, but as a grown-ass person, this just ain't hitting for me.
Yeah.
In the way that I think it should. That's been my whole argument, my take.
Got it.
Yeah. All right, George.
So, favorite restaurant. I have quite a few.
But what's one of yours right now?
Yeah. So, one place that we probably all love, but that I've never had a bad meal is Philadelphia Distilling.
Oh yes!
Oh my God!
That is
That
a
is
good one.
such
We
a
do
good
like
one.
that
Even
place,
though it's even though it's a distillery, even though they do blue coat gin, they do fantastic cocktails.
Yeah, I do
but the
like
food menu is excellent.
It is.
It's
It's my
superb.
favorite happy hour.
So like you just can't go wrong.
That's a good one.
With that.
That's my church house.
Yeah, it is your
Yeah,
birthday.
it
That's
really
real.
is though. I love that place.
Okay. You don't like?
I guess I don't know if I don't. Here goes what I'm going to categorize what I don't like.
Go for it.
I don't like people who try to do culturally relevant cuisine when they're not from that culture.
Ooh.
So
Block that tea.
and I'm saying that across the board.
Okay, fair.
I understand. Yeah.
So, for example, Sornez, which is in my neighborhood, I love it. The bar manager is from Mexico, and every time I go in, he's educating me on the tequila that was made in his region. So, I'm not sure if the owner is Mexican or not.
Okay.
But what I do know is that they've hired people who have the cultural knowledge and experience to bring to life their restaurant.
Okay.
You don't get that with every place.
Okay.
And I think that that's a big miss for restaurants.
All right.
If you're going to have a restaurant serving a particular ethnic fare, then you should have those people as consultants and work with
Spill the
it.
tea. What's the restaurant come to mind?
I can't think of one. That's why I'm trying to think of
Oh,
one.
you're like,
I'm thinking of in the past when I've been at.
What's some past restaurants that you've been to that you just like think about?
It's like the equivalent of Taco Bell, or like when the Mexican Post was in Philly.
The what?
Mexican Post.
What's Mexican Post?
Remember it used to be on the Parkway?
Oh yeah.
It's called Mexican Post?
It used to be
It
called
was.
the Mexican
It's gone.
Post.
And you don't like that?
I just didn't like. I didn't feel like it was authentic. People would rave, "Oh, let's go to Mexican Post for Happy Hour." I just never.
That wasn't your spot.
It was not my spot because I
Okay.
didn't feel it was authentic Mexican.
That makes
right?
sense. Okay.
So that's kind of what I was saying.
Overrated.
Overrated. Oof, that's a tough one. What I will say is that some things have not bounced back from the pandemic,
That's kind of where I was gonna go with mine.
and
but, yep.
I'm hoping they do. But like, for example, I had gone to a bar in Northern Liberties.
I probably know it. Which one? Was it the one right on 2nd Street?
No, it's further up.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Okay. Yeah.
they serve burgers. It used to be my spot back in the day. Great happy hour.
Mm-hmm.
I went in and it felt like it was a shell of what it used to be.
Right.
Oh.
And I've seen that happen a lot out of the pandemic. And so it's like, I feel bad recommending certain places now after the pandemic because I feel like I have to go visit.
Can that be safe for most of the Fishtown bars?
Oh,
no.
boy.
I mean, you're not gonna put a name on it.
No, I'm not.
That's fine. I feel like I know I'm gonna kind of go in the same vein
Oh
as
my
you.
God.
Well, no. First off, favorite restaurant, I think Laser Wolf from Mike Solomon.
Oh, that's a good
If you
one.
haven't
That's a good
been,
one.
you
That's
gotta
a good
go.
one.
Reason I love it is because you don't have to wait as much as you have to do at Zahab. But now they got the little outdoor patio situation at Zahab.
The Zahab
so we
do.
gotta
We're
get
back
back
over
over
there.
there for that. So that I'm excited for. But as far as underwhelming, bad restaurants, this, that, the third, I do agree with Gio. A lot of it is from the pandemic. I feel like there are certain places.
I'll be cute. What's a restaurant that closed, that's now closed, that you didn't like? Now that it's closed, you can now say you didn't like it.
I can say, oh,
come on, you George. I know Jamarcus gonna tell me he don't like. He ain't gonna give a fuck.
Swanky Bubbles.
What?
Swanky Bubbles.
Swanky Bubbles.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
It's right on Front Street in Old City. People used to, again, another one. I'm old. Another one that people used to rave about, and it was like Market and Front Street.
You know another one, Bar Poulet.
Oh yeah, that was yeah.
Okay, the fried chicken in the bubbles, we didn't like that.
No,
never cared for it.
The fried chicken and champagne, yeah, that was a poor
concept.
A poor concept.
Happy everybody could be honest about it now. You, what's your place that you?
So what I was gonna say is one restaurant that we all love, that we used to go to all the time, that I've been to several times more recently, that just hasn't been as good as it was pre-pandemic, is the Wayward.
The Wayward?
Really?
And I feel really bad about it. But they lost their chef. That
controversy.
Yeah.
Oh, this is controversial.
Yeah, they lost their chef.
I haven't been to Wayward in a minute, though.
I know. But it was really good when we went, right? It was amazing.
Oh, it was always good.
I know, right? So
overrated restaurant.
Yeah, but it hurts, though, because it was so good.
You know, when there's restaurants that everyone like, but then you don't hear nothing about them, and it kind of makes you wonder what's going on over there. I feel that way about Townsend. I don't know what's going on with Townsend.
About them in a long
they
time.
keep changing. Like, it was a lot going on with Townsend. The other place that makes me think of it is Laurel, which I like Mike Elmy.
That was,
but they're now not doing they do a la carte now.
Okay,
but ever since the Taste of Me, I don't really hear much about them anymore. I remember there was a time where that was all over the place, right? Royal Boucherie and him when he was running that. All of that was the rave, and like I feel like there's kind of been like a little bit like everybody respects him because he's a legend and he's in Philly. Yeah. But like lately, it just seems like he's been taking his talent like elsewhere, like with Lark and these places that's outside of Philly.
He's got the Lark now.
Yeah,
but that's the thing too. Like, and it's just like, unfortunately, across the industry, where these legendary, really, really, really good restaurants where you go another time, especially post pandemic. Sometimes that consistency isn't quite there.
Overrated?
Overrated's hard because I feel like I have several in my head that I feel like some people won't even connect with.
You never know. This is a very diverse listening.
It is a very diverse listening base, but that one place that I really should name it.
You should. Is it closed?
It's still open. That's the problem.
Tell him in his ear. I'll say something. I'll make it my list.
Oh my god.
Is it what part of town is it in?
I'm just gonna type it out. You can see.
You can type it out.
Well, because we were all there at an event, and at the event it wasn't.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So what I'll say is that
event
there was, you know what I'll say myself. I love Teddy Down. Bloom is not blooming. And the thing is that I remember Bloom when it first happened.
It was cute.
It was cute. I didn't know Bloom was still open. Is it still open?
I think it's still open.
How?
Well, it leans into what you were talking about.
We're
not hearing.
We haven't heard nothing about Bloom in a minute.
Yeah, it's like not one I think of.
Now that's a weird. That's fair.
That's
Bloom
fair,
is, and the thing about Ted. Listen, I'll give another one that is overrated. Uptown Beer Garden.
That's fair.
Uptown Beer Garden is overrated. I appreciate the idea. But see, this is the thing, when you're a big restaurateur and you have a bunch of concepts, and this is how it is in these restaurants.
Yeah.
Everything is not going to land the way it's supposed to land. It just is what it is. And you know how you know? Because I'll give another example. I have not ate at Hook and Master. I love Jose Garza's. I have not ate at Hook and Master. Everybody keep being like, yo, Ernest, run. I have not been. I've been like, I'm trying to get in here. I'm trying to get this pizza. But for whatever reason, Hook and Master and me just ain't never been able to sit down and see each other. And I've been wondering forever, like, what is it? Like, is this a sign from above not to go? And I've been trying to go for over a year now. And I have not actually been. And that's why people be like, have you been here, Ernest? Because you like Garza. I'm a Garza's girl.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I was at Model for brunch like 2 weeks ago. I was not there. I don't know what it is about Hook and Master. And I'm wondering, like, is it even going to stay around by the time I get there? Will I ever make a chance to get there? $1 million question. Now, Jamarcus, you keep it 100. Mm-hmm. Tell me, what is your favorite restaurant in Philly? What is a restaurant that you don't like in Philly? And what's a restaurant that's just downright overrated?
Oh Jesus, my favorite restaurant.
Yeah, what's one of your favorite restaurants you just like? You know, I know it's hard. We've been everywhere.
I mean, I already told you about my church house, which is Philadelphia Distilling.
So that's your favorite restaurant?
That's my favorite spot in the whole city.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
We got a tie. Another one?
Yes.
Another one that you just like that you've been to in Philly?
I will say I did enjoy, oh, shit. I've been to so many with y'all.
Yes.
Oh, my God. I can't even pick.
Come on.
One that's overrated, you said?
No, one that you like. Another one that you like.
like.
Another one that you just also like too. That you.
Ooh, I'm sorry to be a basic girl right now. But
You could be whatever you want to be.
shit, Chima.
Sheba. Yes, we love Sheba.
Sorry, girl.
No, and she does what she do.
She gives me what I need. She gives me the meat.
She do.
She gives me the salads and all that good stuff.
A place that you don't like, that you didn't like. Go ahead, name them. I don't care.
You know, I hate to say it, but it used to be a really special place. But right there in West Philly, which is now turned into a hood bar, rest in peace, Axum.
Oh, damn!
That's so sad.
That. Oh my God, that is a real one.
Yeah.
That Axum, you know what? I share.
That was a moment.
West Philly girls know Axum, baby. That got real. That got real. The duck and waffles. Oh my Lord! You know what? You done struck a nerve there emotionally for me. I forgot about her. I would have put that. Heaven couldn't wait for her. Heaven couldn't wait for you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Saba left, and it just never was the same.
They turned it into something else.
It is. That's a good one, though.
They just need to change the name.
Oh,
Change the name and turn it into a
Devil's
sports bar.
Alley.
Devil's Alley.
good.
The girls are being real.
Yeah,
Devil's
Devil's
Alley.
Alley.
Used to be real good.
Yo,
it
Devil's
still
Alley.
open?
Yes, it is. Devil's
is.
Alley in Chestnut Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
Girl, we love. I used to love it for
love Devil's
brunch.
Alley.
Ooh.
Yeah. Even
Not good no
lunch.
more.
The last time I went there, that's what I'm asking, was it open?
It's still
I feel
open.
like I've been there in the last year. I just remember the last time I was there, it wasn't very good. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, Devil's Alley. That
It's
was
just-
a long time coming, baby.
I know, and it's hard because I know some of this is pandemic related stuff, but it's
But
hard.
but it's still in retrospect. If you still open, you still putting your foot in.
Mhm.
My thing is, if you still gonna do it, or just don't do it. I get why some people just say, "Look, I can't keep the rest of." Do y'all remember that place called Avandis? Avon? It was right there on Chestnut. It was like that real fancy restaurant. It had a weird door. It was on Chestnut.
like closer to Rittenhouse.
Yeah, it was like Aviance or Avon.
Ancient?
No.
Not Ancient Grains.
But where did that happen to
It's
that?
still there.
It's the ancient is still there.
Yeah.
Ancient is still ancient.
Ancient's
Mm. Okay, and what's the place that's overrated to you that you just feel like everybody be act like it's so good, but you think it's overrated? You can say what you want to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead, open that mouth.
Up here. I mean, we were there recently.
Go ahead.
We were very much there recently. We discussed them all the time.
Go ahead.
Booker's, girl.
Why?
Booker's.
Why?
Because, I mean, what's going on at that service?
Okay.
Love y'all. Fabulous owners.
You love the
Fabulous
owners.
people. But we were
Fabulous
there.
Fabulous
Fabulous
food.
food. That fish and
But
grits.
you're feeling like the overratedness of the new concept of the place
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I do feel like this. I love Booker's too, like every other girl. But I can see that. Like, it is a lot of events going on. And so if you are a regular diner, and I said this the other day, if you are a regular diner, you might not know that there's something else going on.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go in there, you're like, whoa, what did I walk into? It feels like I'm in a private party. And so I'm trying to figure out how to navigate the intimacy of the restaurant that people were used to versus what it's become since. You know, I feel like I'm having that struggle with Rex and the Royal.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're having some real conversations tonight. But I love Rex and the Royal. I do. But I'm getting worried. All the happy hour party mixer things happening. It's like, what are you trying to be? Are you trying to be a place that's trying to make money? Or are you trying to be a place that's really trying to create a vibe?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think to your point earlier, you were saying, George, about like restaurants that like reinvent themselves and don't tell nobody.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, when I, like Axum. Axum literally reinvented itself and didn't tell nobody
did.
shit.
Yeah.
There used to be a BYOB. I came with friends for a BYOB brunch, and they were like, "Oh no, we're only bar now."
Yeah, because they got a bar in there now.
Yeah, and she was like, "You can't open your bottles." No,
the whole point of why we went there
was
part of it was why.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good food, BYOB. But I feel like most of these places that reinvent themselves, usually the reinvention ain't what it's supposed to be.
No, I never heard
it's
of
like so consistent.
Is there ever been a good reinvention of a restaurant that we know of?
Not that I can think of. Because even the ones that we've all mentioned have had a reinvention that usually took it the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Which is the crazy part, right?
No.
Okay, give me one because I'm trying to think.
Reinvented to R&D.
This is true.
R&D is fabulous.
Okay.
R&D is excellent.
So the original Root, Greg Root, who had Root Restaurant, which I liked.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Mm-hmm. But they did realign, become
R&D, which
R&D,
is a
cocktail-focused bar.
And the cocktails are phenomenal. And they kept the space the same.
I'll give them that.
Yeah, so I feel like that was a reinvention that actually worked.
That actually did work.
Even though both were good. I mean, maybe that's the criteria. Like,
you already have to be good.
You already have to. If you have the right people in place to make your restaurant good.
Yeah.
And you are bringing a new concept and those people are good at that, then you're set.
Yeah. Like hiring the right people and all of that.
Yeah.
But that's the crazy thing because the more I think about like reinventions that didn't work, I can think of more that didn't work than did work.
Fact. Yeah. You know what we need to be real about is Scarpetta. Y'all act like y'all like Scarpetta.
I have not been there in years.
Yeah.
I don't even think
How
about
is it now?
Nah, it was never great.
Oh, wow.
You know, okay. So let me clarify. There might be another place that did a redo that I appreciate. Mm-hmm. Two things. One is Louie Louie.
Oh, yeah.
It's much better than what it was when it started.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They've definitely changed it up a little bit in a way that I think is positive. The other one I'm thinking about is K-Pod going back to pod. Yes!
Okay, but K-Pod was also good.
I did like K-Pod,
yeah.
But baby, I am happy that it's going back to pod.
Yanaga.
The girls are fighting.
Yeah.
The girls are divided. But I'm now able to say, girl, I'm happy that pod is going back to pod.
I'm very happy.
I will say that. I will say that. Because also, it is not, Yaga is not the same without Yaga.
Correct.
Izakaya in Fishtown without Yaga is not Izakaya in the same way.
Right. I don't.
I went back without Yaga. Just Izakaya, Fishtown Izakaya.
That's hot tea.
I went about around the spring, like late spring, around May. And I went with some friends. It was impromptu. And I was like, oh, we're not going to be able to get a reservation here. We got one on a Friday night.
Wow.
Without a reservation. Like, we came in just raw. It was like 5 of us on a Friday night.
And y'all sat down.
And we was able to sit down and have dinner.
Oh, wow.
On a Friday night.
In
so
Fishtown.
that should tell you everything you know about the current state.
Yeah.
Because you could never, I'm a reservations doll all the way, honey.
Right.
You are never going to have me showing up anywhere uninvited, okay?
Especially a sushi restaurant.
That's facts.
Like,
that's facts.
That's a lot.
Another, but I was able to walk in there. So that just tells you where it was. The food was good, but wasn't memorable. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything that I just had to, remember.
Absolutely.
But Mr. Johnson never was crazy about it. I'll say that much. From the jump, he just always felt like there's other sushi places to go to. But this new pod, I'm excited about the pod.
I'm excited
the return
for
of pod.
Yeah, but that was like one of those things, though. I mean, Steven Starr, another one, doesn't miss.
No.
K-Pod was excellent. I know Pod's also going to be excellent.
I feel like they should have coexisted in 2 different worlds.
Yeah, or
I think you should still
K-Pod in a different space or something, or open Pod in a different space.
And I'll say this too, them Jackass burritos are definitely killer.
Right.
I love Jackass burritos.
Jackass burritos, even the burgers he was doing, like, Steven Starr does not miss.
That burger concept, the day the burger thing.
That burger
whatever
was good.
that was, man, bring that back.
Right.
That was good. That the day the burger eat or whatever that thing, that kind. I remember during the pandemic, I think I was trying all the burgers. I liked everything that I ate.
Right. Same.
I loved everything. That was a really good concept. The Jackass burritos, man, is fire too.
Right.
So, there's a lot of good things. But overall, I guess, passing before we wrap up, what is your biggest advice to people who want to, venture into just understanding about the food scene and how to engage influencers? What advice do you have for people, the public, to understand what they should understand about what this is and what we all do? I'm going to let you all, go one by one.
All right.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah. So, I'm thinking about what, Ernest, you said earlier about authenticity and people not having experience kind of venturing into this space. a lot of us didn't have that experience when we started, but we were committed to learning. We were committed to being open. And I think that's the biggest thing about wanting to be an influencer, especially in the food space. The restaurant industry is continuing to evolve. The Philadelphia, we kept saying it here, but the Philadelphia restaurant culture and scene before the pandemic looks different now. And it's only going to change. It's going to look different a year from now. We were talking about things that are coming there. So if you're not willing to educate yourself on the new things, be open to try new things, I don't think that you can be successful. And I would finish with saying, you also need to be committed to evolution as a creative.
Yes.
Because I am so happy I'm not the Geo that started Geo's Table. He's still in there, but I've grown so much through this venture. And I think it's made me a more open person. I think it's made my palate more diverse. I think I've learned so much about, for me personally, Black foodways and Black culture through my relationship with food. And that's all things that really changed and blossomed after I started my platform. So that would be my advice.
I agree. I think for me, I guess like in closing, I think so many people that want to do what Geo does, do what Ernest says, do what I do, they get so wrapped up in the concept of being an influencer. And I think it's important to take a step back and not have that be your end game and goal, because influencing sounds really cool, but again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, like, what are you influencing? Who are you talking to? What are you doing? So for me personally, like, I feel like I focus more on the content creation aspect. And, as Gio said, I feel the same way. I grew so much just as a content creator. Like, I've grown as a photographer, videographer, editor, all the things, all the hats that I have to wear. And I was just very committed to that. I was very dedicated to growing my craft. And that's where you have to start. No matter what you're trying to do, whether it's food, fashion, lifestyle, whatever content you're trying to create, work on your craft, hone it in, make sure you're a better person. And then, take that and then put it out to the world. And then, I think people really appreciate and connect with the quality of work that you put in.
I agree with that. And what about you, Jamarcus?
All I have to say to y'all is just make those connections.
Yes.
Okay? It's not about just what do you do and what can you do for me.
Yes.
But make real connections with people. Always be a student and continue to learn. And that's with anything anybody else does in their lifetime. Whatever it is, influencing, whatever the case may be. Be open to learn something new. And quality, not quantity. Okay? Don't accept everything. Don't go to everything. You don't have to be there. Everything is not going to work for your brand, whatever the case may be. But pick carefully and be choosy. It's okay. Okay? It's not, you don't have to be at every event. Don't measure yourself with what anybody else is doing. Okay, and that's it. That's all I got.
Oh, shit, that was a lot. A lot of wisdom. I mean, for me, it's always been, to what everyone else is saying, but just read the room. That's always been my thing. I've always told people, read the room. That's just always going to be the theme of everything I talk about, is just read the room. Read the fucking room. Every place that you go to, every space, there's places to be yourself. There's places to just check yourself. There's just places to get to know other people. And I think that's the one thing I'm seeing now that we're in a different space. I'm not saying it's a post-pandemic world, but what I will say is that we're also in a world where there is difference of perspectives and livelihoods and all that jazz. And so I encourage more people to be more thoughtful in how they navigate that. So that is everything for all of us. I mean, we're going to be out here in these Baltimore streets getting ready for dinner. And, we're concluding and wrapping up this special edition episode of Ernestly Speaking. I've had so much to drink today. But as always, be well and be best.
Ernestly Speaking is recorded in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. To stay up to date with the latest on the show, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Mr. Ernest Owens. Use the hashtag Ernestly Speaking to tell me what you thought about this episode and check out my website at ernestowens.com.